What if I told you that right now, beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean, there's a ghost fleet of submarines carrying billions of dollars in cocaine? Not military subs, not research vessels, but custom-built narco submarines, million-dollar drug U-boats that have turned the ocean into the world's most dangerous highway. This is the story of how drug cartels built their own navy, how they turned engineering genius into criminal empire, and how a single pink AK-47 became the symbol of an underwater drug war most people never knew existed. Welcome to the hidden world of narco submarines, where luxury meets lethality, and where billion-dollar fortunes are built one ghost ship at a time. Here's what most people don't realize about the drug war. While authorities focus on borders and airports, the real battle is happening 20 feet underwater. These aren't crude rafts or speedboats. We're talking about sophisticated vessels that cost more than most people's houses, carry enough cocaine to supply entire cities, and disappear into the ocean like phantoms. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reveal the shocking truth about these underwater drug empires. You'll discover how a $1.5 million submarine can generate $120 million in a single trip, why 74% of these vessels are never caught, and the disturbing human cost behind every golden AK-47 and designer handbag. But first, let me show you how this all began with a simple discovery off the coast of Florida that changed everything. The birth of the Ghost Fleet. Picture this. It's 1988, Boca Raton, Florida. Coast Guard officers are staring at something they've never seen before. A 6.4-meter submarine, floating empty in the Atlantic. No crew, no drugs, just a hatch that could only be opened from the outside. This wasn't some military prototype or research vessel. This was the world's first narco submarine, and it was just the beginning. You see, in the 1980s, drug cartels had a problem. Their go-fast boats, those high-speed surface craft you see in movies, were getting picked off by radar and aerial surveillance. The technology was catching up to them. So they did what any billion-dollar criminal enterprise would do. They innovated. They went underwater. What followed was the most sophisticated arms race you've never heard of. Cartels began investing millions in R&D, hiring graduate engineers, even recruiting former Soviet naval personnel after the USSR collapsed. They weren't just building boats anymore. They were building an invisible navy, the million-dollar investment. Now here's where it gets insane. A typical narco submarine, what experts call a self-propelled semi-submersible or SPSS, costs between $1.5 and $2 million to build. That's more than most people will earn in their lifetime. But here's the kicker. A single successful voyage can generate $120 million in street value cocaine. Let me put that in perspective. You invest $1.5 million, and if you succeed, you make $120 million. That's an 8,000% return on investment. Even if 9 out of 10 submarines get caught, you're still making a fortune. But the cartels weren't satisfied with just making money. They wanted to make a statement. The $10 million ghost. In September 2000, Colombian authorities discovered something that shocked even seasoned drug investigators. Hidden in a warehouse near Bogota, remember, this is in the mountains, nowhere near water, they found a submarine under construction that would have cost $10 million to complete. This wasn't just any submarine. This was the Facetativa Narco Sub, 30 meters long, 3.5 meters wide, with a double-skin steel hull and a projected cargo capacity of 150 to 200 tons. To put that in perspective, that's enough cocaine to supply the entire United States for weeks. The design was so sophisticated that investigators later linked it to former Soviet naval engineers. The Cold War was over, but its weapons experts had found new employers. The cartels were literally hiring military-grade talent to build their underwater empire, engineering the perfect ghost. But what makes these submarines so effective isn't just their size, it's their invisibility. These vessels are engineered specifically to defeat modern surveillance systems. The hull is made of fiberglass and Kevlar, materials chosen not for durability, but for stealth. They're nearly impossible to detect with radar or sonar. The engines are water-cooled to reduce heat signatures, making them invisible to infrared sensors. They're painted a specific shade of blue to blend with ocean waves. Some of the more advanced models even have lead shielding to minimize heat emission. These aren't just boats. They're ghost ships, designed by criminal masterminds who understand military technology better than most governments. The human cost of luxury. Now, while cartel bosses are living in mansions and flying private jets, let me tell you about the reality inside these luxury submarines. Picture this. You're trapped in a fiberglass tube for 15 to 20 days. There's no toilet, just a bucket. The air is thick with diesel fumes, and the heat is unbearable. You're cramped in a space barely tall enough to stand, surrounded by tons of cocaine worth more than you'll ever see in your lifetime. This is what investigators call a propeller-driven coffin. The crew, usually desperate men from impoverished regions, are paid as little as $5,000 to $15,000 for risking their lives on these voyages. Meanwhile, the cargo they're carrying is worth $120 million. In March 2023, Colombian Navy officers made a grisly discovery. They intercepted a narco submarine carrying 3 tons of cocaine. When they boarded the vessel, they found 2 crew members dead from toxic fume inhalation. 2 others were barely alive, suffering from the same exposure. This is the dark reality behind the billion-dollar narco submarine industry. While kingpins count their profits, their foot soldiers literally suffocate in the pursuit of that wealth. The Atlantic crossing. But the most shocking development came in November 2019. For the first time in history, a narco submarine successfully crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Spanish authorities intercepted a 20-meter semi-submersible off the coast of Galicia, carrying 3 tons of cocaine. This wasn't just another drug bust. This was proof that cartels had achieved intercontinental reach. They could now move drugs from South America directly to European markets, bypassing traditional smuggling routes entirely. The operation required massive international coordination between Portuguese authorities, the UK's National Crime Agency, and the US DEA. But here's the terrifying part. This was just one submarine. Intelligence suggests dozens more are making similar voyages, most of them undetected. The viral interception. In June 2019, the world got a rare glimpse into the dangerous game of cat and mouse between law enforcement and narco submarines. The US Coast Guard released dramatic footage of a heavily armed guardsman literally jumping onto a moving semi-submersible and pounding on the hatch until the smugglers inside surrendered. The video went viral, showing millions of people the reality of this underwater drug war. But what most viewers didn't realize is that this was just one interception out of hundreds of attempts. During that single deployment, Coast Guard crews seized 39,000 pounds of cocaine and arrested 55 smuggling suspects. And that brings us to the most disturbing statistic of all, the 74% problem. Here's the number that should terrify everyone. According to US Southern Command, authorities are unable to pursue 74% of suspected maritime drug trafficking. Let that sink in. 3 out of every 4 narco submarines are never even pursued, let alone caught. The cartels have built a transportation system so effective that it systematically overwhelms law enforcement resources. This isn't a failure of intelligence or technology. This is a resource problem. The cartels are simply outspending and out-engineering the good guys. While governments debate budgets, criminal organizations are investing billions in their underwater fleets. The business model. And why wouldn't they? The math is simple and terrifying. If you're a cartel boss, you know that even with a 26% interception rate, you're still making astronomical profits. You build 10 submarines, lose 3 to law enforcement, and the remaining 7 generate enough profit to build 20 more. It's not just about the money, it's about the message. Every successful voyage proves that borders are meaningless, that oceans are highways, and that traditional law enforcement is fighting yesterday's war with yesterday's tools. The future of the Ghost Fleet. But the evolution doesn't stop there. Intelligence reports suggest cartels are already developing the next generation of narco submarines. Fully autonomous, unmanned vessels that can cross oceans without risking a single human life. Imagine submarines controlled by artificial intelligence, programmed to avoid detection patterns, capable of operating for months without human intervention. No crew to pay, no crew to capture, no crew to interrogate. Just ghost ships carrying ghost cargo across ghost routes. Some prototypes have already been discovered equipped with Starlink satellite internet systems for remote guidance. The same technology that brings internet to rural communities is being weaponized by criminal organizations to build the ultimate smuggling network. The luxury paradox. And here's the ultimate irony. While these submarines represent the pinnacle of criminal engineering, they also represent the ultimate disposability of criminal wealth. These million-dollar vessels are designed to be used once and then scuttled, thrown away like expensive toys. Hundreds of these submarines now litter the ocean floor, a graveyard of criminal ambition and wasted resources. Each one represents not just the wealth of the cartels, but the environmental cost of their operations. They're polluting the very oceans they use as highways. The global impact. The success of narco submarines has implications far beyond drug trafficking. The same organizations building these vessels are also behind illegal mining, deforestation, and arms trafficking. The profits from submarine operations directly finance environmental destruction across the Amazon basin. This isn't just about drugs anymore. It's about criminal organizations that have achieved military-grade capabilities, operating with near impunity across international waters. They've created a shadow economy that rivals the GDP of small nations. The unstoppable force. Today, as I'm recording this video, there are likely dozens of narco submarines somewhere in the Pacific, Atlantic, and Caribbean, carrying billions of dollars in illegal cargo. Their crews are risking their lives in floating coffins while their bosses count profits in air-conditioned mansions. The technology continues to evolve, the profits continue to grow, and law enforcement continues to fight a war they're systematically losing. These aren't just submarines, they're symbols of how criminal innovation can outpace legal response. They represent the dark side of human ingenuity, where billion-dollar budgets and military-grade engineering are devoted to breaking the law rather than upholding it. The story of narco submarines is ultimately a story of contrasts. Technological marvels built for criminal purposes, million-dollar investments designed to be thrown away, luxury lifestyles built on human suffering. But it's also a story that's far from over. As long as there's demand for illegal drugs and profits to be made, criminal organizations will continue to innovate, continue to invest, and continue to stay one step ahead of the law. The Ghost Fleet is real, it's operating right now, and it's winning. The question isn't whether narco submarines will continue to evolve. It's whether law enforcement can evolve fast enough to stop them. Based on current trends, the answer is deeply troubling. These million-dollar drug U-boats have revealed something uncomfortable about our world. That sometimes the bad guys have better technology, bigger budgets, and more innovative thinking than the good guys. And until that changes, the Ghost Fleet will continue to haunt our oceans, carrying its deadly cargo from shadow to shadow, profit to profit, ghost to ghost. The world of criminal innovation doesn't stop with submarines. If you want to dive deeper into how criminal organizations are using cutting-edge technology to stay ahead of law enforcement, you need to watch my next video about the billion-dollar cybercrime networks that are reshaping the digital underworld. Click here to discover how hackers are building virtual empires that make narco submarines look like child's toys. The technology they're using will blow your mind, and it's operating right under our noses.